Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my forest. I'm glad y'all are joining me here today. Today is July 4th, and so that's Independence Day in the United States. Now, I know not everybody celebrates it, but I like celebrating holidays, and I always try to put my own personal touch on the holidays. For example, with the 4th of July being Independence Day, I like to think about, well, what does independence for me mean? How do I find my independence? And the opposite of independence is dependence. And a way to think about that today, whether or not you celebrate the 4th of July, you can think about independence today. And what things, if being dependent is the opposite of independence, then what are you dependent on? You get all sorts of different dependencies. It might be food to make us feel comfortable, alcohol, drugs. Some of us might be financially dependent on others. I talked earlier this week about a situation, and that had to do with finances. And so to me on Independence Day, I like to think about what I'm dependent on, and how can I work on getting independent of those things? Some dependencies can be good. You have to be dependent on friends for support. That's a good thing, but sometimes dependency can go a little too far. And, even when it comes to other people, that's where that term codependent comes from. So it's good to think about the things you're dependent on and how you can free yourself of those dependencies and be more independent. Like I said, for me, one of the things is been, trying to think about like financial independence, not relying on other folks. And look at that sun. It wants to join us this morning. Being free financially, which is a goal of everybody. I think a lot of people have that goal and hope. So think about that for yourselves. What might you be dependent on, and what are some ways that you can work towards getting dependent of those things, or independent of those things. And if you've successfully done that in the past, maybe you have a story you can share with us about ways you've done that. When I first got out of the hospital, I was very dependent on people for lots of things. Cleaning the house, getting to hospital, doctor's appointments and things like that. I was very dependent on other people's help. And I'm thankful now that I'm independent of that. And that's one reason I've been coming to my forest so much now, is now that I can actually walk again. I couldn't even walk for the longest time. Now that I can walk again, I can go to the gym. I make those a priority because it helps me be independent, helps me be stronger. So what about you? What stories might you be able to share with us today? Please leave a comment below. If you like this kind of content, I hope you'll like and subscribe. Like I say, it helps other people get to view these videos as well. And as always, I'm grateful for each and every one of you all, and I hope you have a wonderful day. As I was continuing my walk through the forest, I had another thought about independence. And we don't think about this, but we can become dependent on our emotions. Some people get addicted to or dependent on anger and, or sadness. I don't know, that sounds crazy because those are natural feelings, but sometimes people get addicted to that feeling, because anger can give you, your brain excitement, and people can get addicted to that adrenaline, it sounds crazy, but so think about that too. People can get addicted and dependent on things, different emotions, and how you might recognize that. And just recognizing it, I think, can help, because you don't think about it that way. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you too. Y'all have a great day.